Hey there, you guys. Welcome back. Today we're going to do a backyard tour. If you haven't seen the front yard tour, you could check that out. It should be uploaded first, so it should be there in a list. It was a little bit too long, so I thought I would split it up, and maybe we would be able to spend a little bit of time on the tropical stuff on the patio, rather than just the garden. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's pan around and see what's going on. So we'll start where I was sitting and move our way around. This one has been getting some questions, so we'll talk about that one in a second. And move around, try to get in frame. This poor redbud, I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's just stress from the heat, but also water stress. It was really, really wet this spring, and then now it's really, really dry because of the clay underneath. It goes from wet to dry really, really quickly, so I think it's just stressed out. And then panning around. The baskets are looking a little tired. The banana, little banana grove is starting to look nice, finally. It's been a really long go. It's been really, really cool. We have had a lot of cool nights, down to 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or a little bit colder. We'll spend a little bit more time over here and over here next to the house where I have the succulents and Airoids. Excuse me, the hanging baskets here. I didn't prune them at all this year. They've got super tunias in them. They are self-cleaning, so I wanted to see, actually I was a little bit lazy. There was a few times I'm like, oh, I should prune those, and then I didn't, and then time just got a hold of me, and we're here. We're in at the end of August, so they're not getting pruned now. So they're looking really tired. And we're back to the start. So things are looking okay. The native stuff, or not native stuff, the hardy stuff is looking just fine. The tropicals, they're starting to look good, but they are very, very slow to the party. So let's look over in here. This garden here stays really, really wet. You'll see down in the soil, there's a lot of moss and lichens, so that is telling me that the it's very, very moist. So yeah, I don't know. That's not great. But the Xanthosoma lime zinger is always a showstopper in a lightly shaded place. So look at how bright those leaves are. Oh, they're so pretty. I love them. They kind of look like they're velvety. They are a little soft, but they're not fuzzy. But they have that appearance of velvet. And then up from there, this is the first year that I've started growing this, what is it, honeysuckle vine up this obelisk. And I can't believe that it has totally taken over the obelisk. And I have some flowers, as you might be able to see. Let's get in a little closer here. Beautiful little flowers. I planted this one purposely. Oh, there's some closer ones. I should have gone there. I planted this one purposely for hummingbirds. And I haven't seen any here yet, but I don't sit on this side. When we sit on the sofa that, as you probably know, every time I do these videos, it's not uncovered. I usually do these in the morning when it's still very, very dewy. So we've got another hibiscus here that it's the same one as in the front. I took cuttings. We had some storms a few years ago, and I believe branches broke off, and I'm like, well, I can try planting these, and they grew. So they grew from cuttings really, really easily. These are old flowers from yesterday. We've got all kinds of buds coming. It doesn't look like I'll get any flowers today, but that's fine. The Patora canna lilies are looking so good. I'm not a big fan of the big flowered ones. This is a big flowered one. They're beautiful when the first flower comes out because you can see it, but then as they form, as they get more of them, they just kind of crush together, and it's just like a stick of orange where you can't really distinguish each flower. I like the smaller flower ones better. But look at those leaves. These leaves are quite stunning. Oh, I love the patterning on them. The colors, I love how they're really going yellow this year versus the green that they started off with. Okay, so let's go over here. I don't want to spend a lot of time on each plant, but I seem to be. Over here, I'm trying to go a little slower this time with the camera. This is the turmeric. I don't know that I'm going to get any flowers on it this year. I didn't get any flowers last year. I'm growing it strictly as an ornamental, but look at how beautiful those leaves are. So I just bought the turmeric rhizomes from the grocery store, just where you would find the ginger, and they're much smaller than ginger, which is quite lovely, easier to work with. Well, not that ginger is hard to work with, but I love the leaves on this. It's just a nice statement piece. Even if it doesn't flower, it's got such a beautiful green leaf, and it adds a little bit of a tropical vibe if you're not in a tropical area. And last year I just dug it up, let the leaves dry out, and then I cut the leaves back and just stored the turmeric rhizomes in a paper bag over winter. Nothing special, but they survive the winter. I thought that they'd rot, because when they're out on the when you have ginger out on the counter, it kind of shrivels up. So I thought that would happen with the turmeric. And then back in the back, I used to have this blanket flower, the red blanket flower. Let's get in a little closer. Gaillardia. I used to have this flower where the turmeric is, but I switched it out because it got really big and it was hanging over the lawn. And that's a no-no, because we want to have a nice crisp edge on the lawn. As you can see, we've got a nice crisp edge, always. And then this, let's check this one out first. This is the contorted larch. I'm looking forward to it doing its fall color. I'll do an update video. Well, it'll either happen in September or October when we do the walkthrough. But this is going to go a beautiful yellow, or it's supposed to, for the fall color, and then it drops all of its needles. It's grown really well this season. Look at how contorted these are. They're kind of fun looking. Just a little wonky, not over the top, but it's just kind of perfect. So can't wait to see what this one does next year. And then we've got this one. Many of you had questions about this alocasia. This is a beauty. It's Alocasia serendipity. I have mentioned it in the past. It gets a very thick corrugated leaf. It's so thick. It grows fairly well in the house, but I find that indoors, maybe with a lack of humidity, the leaves don't unfurl fully. As you can see here, we've got the leaf that's not fully unfurled. But as it comes outside, I think this is the last leaf here. Try to pull back a little bit, and it's nice. It's not as corrugated as some of the other ones. Like this one's really wrinkly. So thick. I don't ever realize how thick it is until I touch it. It just looks like every other alocasia. And then down from there, we've got some more sedum like we saw in the front. This one I cut back, not as hard as I did before, with the one in the front, but I've got all kinds of it growing as little babies, seedlings throughout the garden. So I've got to be very mindful of that and not let it take over the garden. Unless, of course, I wanted it to. And then we've got the beautiful ageratum. This is probably going to be what's in the front garden between the two houses next year as the annual around the bed, because they grow so well and they're so pretty. And then we've got the Sum and Substance hosta. It's looking a little sun bleached. Sum and Substance can handle some sun, but it looks like it's getting a lot of sun. And then next to it, we've got the End-Set Red Banana. Let's back up to get it in frame. It's almost to the top of the fence. That fence is, I'm going to say, close to 7 feet tall. It's taller than me, and I'm 6'6", so it's almost 7 feet tall. And then we've got a little finch feeder behind it. I don't think the finches are going to it now because the plants are too close. It's probably a threat could loom behind the leaf, so they don't come there anymore. I need to move the bird feeder or cut that leaf off. I think I'll move the bird feeder. And then over here we've got the ginger. This is just the typical ginger for household use. It's not as attractive, as you can see, as the turmeric. So I would certainly give the turmeric a try if you're looking to grow a ginger plant from the grocery store. And then we got some lilies that I cut the tops off, and just to stop it from using the energy to produce seeds. Okay, let's go to the next section. The monkey puzzle is looking so good. I'm going to change the pot out. We're working on painting pots. We're going with blues, so we got a couple of tones of blues that we're going to use, and yeah, we're gonna transplant him so that we can change the color of the pot. Look at how cool those are. They're so spiky. Oh, they're dangerous. And then this beautiful, what is this one? This is a Royal Standard hosta. If you're looking for a fragrant hosta, Royal Standard is lovely. It has kind of a fragrance of a rose. What's the other one? There's another one. I can't think of the name offhand, but there's another one that has a larger flower that is also quite fragrant. But this one is really, really lovely. I don't know whether you can smell it there. Give it a sniff. It's so pretty. And then, like I said, we've got the Forest Pansy Redbud. Always looking nice, but it's got some leaf curl, like I was saying. It's just a little stressed, I think. It could be the heat. Usually in the morning, it should be a little bit better because it should have relaxed overnight, but I think it's just stress. I think it's stress. It was very, very wet again this spring, and then just recently it got really dry and hot. Finally, summer kicked in mid-August. And then we got all kinds of hostas under here. This one's Praying Hands. I need to go in and take off the flower spikes. We got some salvia that's grown from seed, and then all kinds of other things. This is the, what is that one? I think it's Blue Angel. And then we got the bird bath. We got the fountain going on. I turned the fountain off because it was just spraying all the water out. But that one's really nice. I got it from Amazon, and it's got an LED light in it. It's got a battery backup, and it's solar. So it changes the color of the water in there at night, which is kind of cool. And then back in the back, we've got another alocasia. That one was from my neighbor, and I don't know what variety it is, but it always does so well back there. So that is its home. And I don't know whether I mentioned it, the white alocasia, echinacea. It sounds very similar. And then we got the, what is this one? The alocasia lutea. I think this is a Macrorrhiza lutea. And then I think this one's called Mayan Mask. They're really close together. They look very similar. One doesn't have yellow and the other does. So this one also has the purple backside. And this one is just a plain old backside. So these pots have dried out more than once and come back from the brink of death because Calibrachoas are amazing plants. They can only do it so many times though. Just don't purposely let them dry out completely. I made this basket hoping for the best, hoping that the potato vine would vine down, but as you can see, this sweet potato vine has not vined down. It's just taken over this basket. I knew it would get big, but I didn't know that it would get so big. Well, I kind of did. Anyway, mistake made. There will not be any potato vines in these baskets next year, and this Persian shield is really overshadowed. You don't even know that there's a Persian, can't even say that second time, Persian shield in there. And then down here, the alliums, the Millennium alliums, are just finishing up. They were beautiful. They were a lot of food for the bees. The bees love them. And then over here we have the, this is the Ginkgo biloba witch's broom. It's called Troll. So this is going to be a fun one to grow. It might not stay here. But it's a lovely little plant. It won't really grow very big. It's just going to be a little clump forming ginkgo, which is great because I don't have the space for a full ginkgo tree in this backyard at the moment. Moving around, we've got the Japanese maple. I can't remember whether this is a full moon or a half moon. I think it's a full moon. And it has some damage here, whether this is from sun scorch or insect damage or something. It could be also from having wet feet and then not having wet feet. The new growth seems to be coming out okay, so it must have been something cultural that was causing this. Anyway, if you have any idea, let me know. Oh, look at down there. I didn't even realize. I have a little Calibrachoa that grew from seed. I don't have that color this year. So, the weeds that turn into things. We got some more allium here. My goodness, it's early morning and I have stuff stuck in my throat, it seems. This Coreopsis is doing so lovely. It got burned off heavily with the frosts in the spring, but it seems to have come back, and look at those blooms. I might move this into a more central spot so that you can see it better. It's kind of tucked away behind everything, and you don't really get to see it. But it's very worthy of a frontal spot. And then we've got another. This is an offset of my Alocasia macrorrhiza that I call Peanut. I was trying some new things this year. I tried to store them dormant, completely dormant, took off the leaves and stored them in a paper bag over winter. And it survived, so that's good. And then over here are the bananas. The bananas actually look very small, but they're over 6 feet tall. They're over the fence now, so that's 7, maybe 8 feet. But they look small because these salvias are 4.5, 5 feet tall, which is ridiculous. And the bees are loving them. These are similar to the ones that are in the front garden between the houses. We've got the blues, as you can see. And then we've got the beautiful purples over here. And then there's the magenta one somewhere. Over here. Try not to go too quick. Magenta ones over here. They're not flowering as good, but they're in here. And then over here, we've got some more alocasias. I don't remember what this one is. I think this one's Borneo King. Again, they were really late to the party because of the temperatures that we had this summer. Cold nights don't do them very well. And then we've got the butterfly weed that has stopped flowering, and now it's just producing its seed pods. I wish that the monarchs would come to this, but I guess this butterfly weed isn't what the monarchs want. And then behind there we've got the rose love. I just pruned off the flowers. I have been getting insect damage on the leaves, but this plant, it's super thorny and I don't like how the flowers develop, so I'll probably end up trading this out for a different rose that I like better. I bought this one back in the day, or I liked this one back in the day, maybe 25 years ago when I was doing landscaping. I really liked this one for the two-tone color, the red inner petal and then the white outer petal. But I don't like how it fades into a icky muddled pink, and it's not a full double. It's it's not a it's kind of like a semi-double flower where you can still see the center. And then the Alocasia Petora, which is much smaller than it's been in previous years, but I'm starting to get all kinds of little offsets, as you can see. Looks like I need to fertilize. The leaves are going a little bit yellow, so that could also be part of the slower growth. The lavender recently finished flowering, and I trimmed those off, and it looks like I'm getting a second flush. As you can see, we've got all kinds of little flowers starting to develop again, but it did already bloom this year. And then we've got the portulaca that I did not plant. They grew from seed. Always a benefit when you can get some free plants in the garden. And portulacas are always so pretty. And this beautiful little rose, look at how pretty it is. It's just a miniature rose. I transplanted it. It got heaved up over the winter, and the root was right above the soil. So I really needed to plant it down about 5 inches. It was crazy. And then we got this beautiful Weigela. I'm not sure what variety it is, but I love the green on green variegation. It's so pretty. I thought that I would have to prune it back a lot harder because when it first started to come out, let's get in here. When it first started to come out, it was producing these really thin, kind of twisted leaves, and I didn't like that. But after the flowering stopped, it started to produce its new growth, and it's been giving me the beautiful leaves. Look at those. Oh, they're so pretty. Then we got a boxwood down, where is it? Oh, it's right here. It's blending with the Weigela. And then the, what is this one? Regal Shields Alocasia. If you're just starting off with alocasias, I do recommend Regal Shields if you can find it. It seems to be quite popular these days, and it's a very, very good grower inside and out. So it's a very tough plant. So I do recommend that one. We got all kinds of sunflowers doing their thing. Had to back up. Hopefully they're coming into frame. We got some glare from the sun that's just popping over the fence. And look at them. Soon we're going to see all the blue jays going crazy for them. and I can't wait for that. Oh, I can't wait. And then as you can see, they're starting to tip into the twisted baby Robinia or black locust. And this black locust has grown much faster than I thought it would. It is ridiculous. I don't know whether you're able to take it all in, but let me go to a different angle. So this here, it's grown at least 4 feet this year. I thought it was supposed to be a like a dwarf species where it has a slower growth rate because of the twistedness of it, the contorted nature. But it has grown probably from about this point onward, which is crazy. And some of these branches down below, like I had to fit this in my car this spring. I think that the branches, I don't know whether that's a stake. The branches maybe were about this long, and now that particular branch is this whole section. This whole section. That would never fit in my car today. I have an SUV, but not that big of an SUV. And then we've got the Japanese maple here. I don't know what variety this one is. It looks like the heat has been getting to this one. Also, it might be a little bit of fall. I don't know. I've seen some trees changing color recently. And then over here, I thought I'd plant this in the garden just to have fun with it. It is a teddy bear Tradescantia, and look at all the blooms on it. I love the fuzzy leaves. I'll dig this up and I'll put it in a pot, or I'll take some cuttings and put it in a pot in the fall, and then I'll put some more out here next spring. And because I'm in a colder climate, I have all of these mother of millions or mother of thousands or whatever they are, the kalanchoe, that produce all kinds of little babies. I've been throwing the babies in the garden, which is a no-no if you're in a warmer climate, but the frost will kill these off. So I don't worry about them being invasive. It's better that they're invasive in my garden here because they'll die, rather than being invasive in my pots in the house, because they get into everything in the house. So once you have one, you'll have thousands. It'll take them a little bit of time, but it will get there. So now let's look around. Actually, let's look at the tower garden first, but we'll do a pan around. We've got all kinds of plants here to look at. We're not going to go through all of them, but we'll just do a brief overview because I want to still keep this at a manageable level. You guys have other things to do today. This is the tower garden. It's mostly peppers in here, and at the top I have the Amorphophallus konjac. But the peppers, this is the first year that I've tried this one. This one's called a sweet cherry pepper, which is so weird. Like oh, you got my arm. When I think of sweet cherry, I think of tomatoes, and it actually has a slight peppery taste in the first bite, and then it goes down and tastes like a green pepper, not a green pepper, a green bean. And then down in here, we have more peppers. We've got some basil growing. This is the chocolate ghost pepper. I don't know that I will eat these, but maybe some friends will want some for some salsa or some hot sauce or something. But there's so much going on here. The garlic chives are blooming, and look at the little bees all around there as I was way off frame. So actually, before we get to here, let's quickly go up on the deck and we'll look at some of the plants on the deck. So the first plant on the deck is the Colocasia fontenensii, I don't know, but I just did an Instagram post not too long ago where I was sitting underneath it. It's a really substantial plant. I think if it's planted in the ground, the plant itself would probably be at least 4.5 feet tall, and the leaves, I don't know, this is my hand on there, so you're looking at least 18 to 20 inches long for the leaf. And I love in here, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, but the way that they produce their offsets, they produce stolons pretty well, or runner, that they're like snakes or worms in the soil, and then they run, and then they'll produce roots along their little knuckles here, and then they'll eventually produce a plant, which is kind of cool. Most of these colocaceae, their clump will just get bigger, but this particular one produces runners. So it's really, really interesting. It actually pushes the pot up. Let me see here. It has a two-part lip on the pot, and where is it? It's pushed the lip up, and now I have a baby growth between the lip and the pot, which is crazy. Here's another one growing. As you can see, we've got roots here, and then we've got the leaves developing. So it's a really interesting plant. I really like this one. This one I store dormant over winter. I just chop it back, and then I let it get hit by frost, and then I chop it back and leave it in the garage. And then here is the boxwood bonsai. Finally took it out from behind the shed and put it in this bigger pot. It's not going to be treated as a bonsai. I'm going to be clipping it as such, but I'm not going to constrict the roots anymore. So it was in its little tray, and it was still looking good. And then over here we've got the variegated shell ginger. Look at these leaves. Oh, the leaves are so beautiful. So this plant I am going to store dormant over winter, try it out this year, because I didn't get flowers. It was a pain in the neck because it's such a wide plant. As it grows, it was like 3 or 4 feet wide, and in the grow space I was stepping on the leaves and it just didn't do well. So I think I'm just going to store it dormant, see how it grows next year, and because I wanted to try to get the flowers. They're supposed to flower on 2nd year growth. So that didn't happen for me. Maybe my season was a little bit too short, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's store it dormant, and hopefully it survives the winter, because it's a beautiful plant. It's such a statement piece. Then we've got the little succulent nook on the table. I love that oak leaf elephant leaf kalanchoe, the Baronensis. And then we've got the carnivorous garden, which will get repotted next spring. We've got the Tarnock Sarracenia, and then we've got the Sand Mountain that the wind has really done a number on. And then back and behind, I don't know whether you're able to see, but we've got the Purpurea down here, all kinds of Purpureas. And then there's a Venus flytrap somewhere in here, and there's all kinds of seedlings of Capensis starting to grow. So it's a flourishing little bog garden. And then over here we've got the Trachycarpus fortunei. It's finally starting to get leaves that aren't all damaged. Finally, it goes in the garage over winter, and sometimes stuff gets pushed up too close to it and it damages the leaves. So it's not a very handsome plant, but hopefully as it grows it will get a little bit better. And then almost done up here, we've got the spindle palm, which is doing really, really lovely. And then the bottle palm, which is not doing so bad. These leaves were damaged when I got it, but this is the newest leaf that came out, and it's looking pretty nice. And I think, yeah, we've got a new frond developing here. So it's only produced this particular frond this year, so it seems to be a really slow grower. I knew it was going to be a slow grower, but I expected to get maybe 2 fronds out of a season. But we'll see. We'll see. That means I've got to be extra patient with it, and really acclimate it to the summer sun really well, so it doesn't burn. Because if I only get one maybe 2 fronds a season or a year, then I need to really make sure that I don't get any damage on them. So let's go back down to the tropicals. Okay, so over here we have the bigger Baronensis. This is not the oak leaf form, that's just the standard form. And it's tall. It's probably 2 feet tall in this particular spot. I had the original one, and it was maybe 4 or 5 feet tall, and then I can't remember what happened, but I ended up starting it off from babies again, and it's doing well. And then we've got a Sansevieria, a snake plant that's in bloom. This particular one, I don't know what it is. I think it's gray nymph or silver nymph. Yeah, it's called silver nymph. I think that's a gracilis. I'm not sure. Ooh, it looks like I'm getting some rot on this guy here. I'll have to come back here and repot him. I think that one's called Gold Flame. So I'll check that one out this weekend and see what I can do, which is kind of weird. Maybe I'll pull it out from here. Yeah, it looks like it's got some root rot. So, no, it's got some roots still hanging in there. I'm just going to let it dry out, put it by itself, and so I don't water it. Usually outside, things do better even well watered, but if there's excessive water in the crowns of these plants, it's not a good thing. So it's good to tip out your plants when after you've watered, if you get water in the crown. So I can't remember all the names. We'll do a Sansevieria video in a few weeks, but this one's doing so good, except it got sunburnt. And then the Samurai, look at him. He looks like he's stretched over winter. And then over here we've got some Hoya in amongst the whale fin. I need to figure out what's going on there, but there's all kinds of new growth. I think that one's an Australis. And then back in here we have the Carrii. It loves being outside over the summer. Oh, it's crazy. We got some lovely flowers going on here with this aloe. I think this one's called Piranha, I think. And then we've got a Lisa, an Australis Lisa Hoya. And there's all kinds of new growth on the Hoyas in here. We'll do a Hoya video coming up as well in the next couple of weeks. This one that you're looking at right now is a Archibaldiana, and then we've got the oh, what is that one? Macrophylla variegata. Oh my god, these names aren't rolling off my tongue this morning. And for whatever reason, this one here is sunrise, and it's not sun stressed. It looks like it can use some more sun. The leaves are getting bigger than they did last year, which is quite lovely. And then we've got this one. This one is Kamingiana. I love this one. I don't know why the name didn't come to me. And then up here, we've got a Rangzan Splash Hoya. Got all kinds of Hoya. I think this one's an Imperialis. And then just all kinds of things. We've got this really cool Haworthia truncata. We've got some little Curtisii, Hoya Curtisii cuttings that are growing out here. They're so cute. And then some more Haworthias. I think that this is Cooperi. The labels all wore off. And then up here we've got some Stapelias. I'm not sure what this one is. I think this one is a Stapelia, not variegata, Orbia variegata, I believe. This poor little aloe, the fan aloe, I mistreated over winter. I didn't give it enough water, so it's looking really, really sad this season. It's getting watered now, and it's got new growth, and I've got new growth points, so it's branching. And then, I don't know what variety of Stapelia this one is. I need to post it to Instagram, see if anybody has any ideas what it could be. It's such a cool one. I love the way that it grows. Let's pan back, how it's kind of dangling off the side here. It's so beautiful. I can't wait. It's not flowered yet, so that's going to be the teller on what variety it actually is. And then we've got this Buddhist temple, Chrysula. This one here was growing inside and then it stretched, and then now at the top it's starting to get a little bit more compact again. The fun of highlight plants. When you grow them inside, they stretch, and then you bring them outside and they start doing their thing, so you got this wonky growth of leaves. Up here, this one is Frizzle Sizzle. I can't remember the name on this one, but the common name is Frizzle Sizzle. We've got the Silver Dollar Vine, the Danguii, what is it? Xerocissius Danguii. We've got a, what is this one? A geranium, a pelargonium, a species Pelargonium magnificum, and just a bunch of things. This is Devil's Backbone, I believe. Type of Euphorbia, I think. I can't remember. Yeah. And this is my, what is this one? D'Oro. I can't remember. The tag is not here. Ruby D'Oro, not Ruby. Oh, Bouillon D'Oro. I can't remember. It's the gold one that flowers all the time that we repotted together last fall, I believe. And I had somebody saying that I was giving misinformation and whatnot, and that my plant would surely die and it would not bloom. It bloomed after I repotted it, and it's got all kinds of new growth and whatnot. So don't let anybody tell you there's only one way to grow plants. There's multiple ways. Everybody has different conditions in their home, and sometimes what works for one absolutely does not work for another. So don't let people tell you that there's only one way to grow something. This is the Vanda. We did a Vanda update, and there it is. It's looking so good. Look at all those roots. And then we got another plant back here. I can't remember what this one's called. It starts with a T. The leaves look like, or the flowers look like Phalaenopsis flowers, but I can't remember what it's called. Let me know down below. I'll try to make a tag. I can't remember. And then this is the Bougainvillea that we trimmed to be a standard. Let's move this out so you can see it not crushed against everything. It needs to be watered desperately. Oh, I'm walking into a chair. As you can see, we've trimmed it back. It seems to be drying out a lot faster than the other things, so the root system is growing like a weed. It actually started dropping leaves about a few weeks ago, and I'm like, well, what's happening? And then it turned out it was just bone dry. The weeds in the pot were not showing signs of drought, but the plant itself was. So it was really dry. And I lost a lot of leaves, but I started watering it again, and it's coming back. So we'll slide it back. We got our cinnamon. I can't remember the variety name, but the cinnamon tree. And look at all the new growth. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the new growth on this. It's such a beautiful color. Look at that. And then underneath we have, what is that one called? Lowrider alocasia. And I'm not sure, I can't remember what this one is. This is a colocasia. Every year I think that it's dead, and then it comes back and it's beautiful. The leaves are supposed to be gigantic, but this is just it trying to recoup itself. And then this is a species geranium. I'm not sure what it is. I can't remember. Cucumani? I don't know. Let's look at it up. Cuculatum is what this one is. It's never bloomed. I've had this for a few years. I've grown it from seed. It gets really, really, really tall with pom-poms on the top. But yeah, I'll cut it back maybe this fall and grow cuttings over winter, because where am I going to put that? It looks like a really, really tall palm tree. We've got some Amorphophallus konjac going in here. My main Alocasia zebrina had died, but I guess there was a little offset in the soil, and it's hard to see through the sorrel. But look at it's coming back. We've got some new leaves. I'll probably pot that up into a smaller pot so it doesn't get root rot over winter. And then we've got some more of those. I'm selling some on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. The Colocasia fautensii, or yeah, whatever that one is, the one that was on the deck. Yeah, got a bunch here, and then some more of the Amorphophallus konjacs. So yeah, those are also on Facebook Marketplace. Unfortunately, I'm not shipping, but if you're in the Niagara region and you want some, let me know. And then over to the Airoid section. This section gets some sun in the early morning and then quickly gets shaded by the house. This is the bird's nest anthurium, the only anthurium that I'm able to grow at the moment, but I'm getting better. This one, when I first put it outside, we had some wicked winds and it ripped all the leaves off. Every single leaf was broken. So it has come back like a phoenix from the ashes. And as you can see, we're starting to develop another new leaf. So that new leaf is going to be bigger than the last. When it came out, it was probably about 4 feet tall, and now it's starting from nothing. And then over here against the house, usually in the morning I'll spray the bricks so that it adds humidity to the area without having to water the plants, because the plants stay moist very, very long. Oh, and all you're looking at is the bricks. I apologize, I had a scratchy arm. So here, this is, for whatever reason, I've had this plant for a couple of years, and this winter it started to deteriorate. This is a philodendron tiger tooth, narrow leaf tiger tooth. So I don't know what happened to it. It was weird because both the philodendron and this anthurium, which is just the floral anthurium with red flowers, both started to really deteriorate. So I don't know what was happening. I know that this one had some scale insect, I believe, but this one here didn't have anything. So something changed, but it wasn't me, because they were able to dry out, not too much, and then I would water them, and nothing changed. My schedule didn't change over the last 2 years, and for whatever reason, it just it stopped working. We've got a beautiful new leaf here of Gloriosum. As you can see, I've been having troubles with them. After I repotted it, it really struggled, but now it looks like things are taking hold. And this is the leaf just before that one. It was struggling as well, but hopefully over winter time when they come inside, I will be able to get a handle on their care. And yeah, right now they like it outside. And then we've got some Alocasia pink dragons. They're looking lovely. This is the one in the original pot. As you can see, it's still looking nice. This one I repotted into a slightly bigger pot with extra drainage, and it's starting to develop a new leaf. We've got a little Alocasia bambino. I don't know how well this one will grow for me because it looks like a poly with a really narrow leaf. So who knows? Who knows? If I kill it, I kill it. Poly is such a diva when it comes to Alocasias. Oh, they're a pain in the butt. Either you can grow them really well or you don't. And then in here, I don't know what we got. Oh, this one here isn't looking so good, but it might be because it was sitting in water. It was actually swimming in water. I don't know if you're able to see the water draining from there now, but let's just tip that out, put it back in, and put it where we could see it. I wasn't able to see it before. And then we've got the beautiful High-Low Beauty Caladium. Look at those leaves. Oh, they're so pretty. And then look at the beautiful, what is this one called? Tahiti? I think it's called Tahiti. Philodendron, and it's gorgeous. I need to try to attach it to the pole a little bit more. I think I'm going to make it a actual moss pole and not the coconut coir pole, just so that it has something to grow into. As you can see here, we got some lovely aerial roots developing, and they'll want to cling into something to get the bigger leaves. And then we've got the Thamatophyllum sprucianum. This one has been growing really well for me. It's got aerial roots that are crawling along the ground. I'll have to cut those off when I go to bring it inside because they're way too long. And then over here I have some more, well, these ones are Anthurium superbum, and it's been a hit and miss game for me with growing them outside. They've started to come back to life, which is nice. I need to get that watering nailed down. I think I just need to let them dry out a lot more. And then we've got the variegated burl marks now, which is looking lovely. And then we've got a Ploumanii, that's a Philodendron Ploumanii, that's starting to grow nicely again. And then we also have the Monstera deliciosa that it's been coming back from thrips. I'm going to do a video just on this one, but yeah, a quick little view of it. Those leaves are really beautiful. But yeah, it had thrips all winter long. Maybe the second month after it came in, it started to look a little bit sad, and the leaves were starting to deform, and they were getting the black or brown spots all over it, and it was really sad. So it's finally coming out of it. As you can see, it's got some jungle vibes finally. And then we've got a bunch of Nepenthes. This one is Miranda. This one is, I don't know, Ventricosa or something. And then this one here is a pot of mixed ones. This one with the dark leaves is Maxima Wavy. And then we've got some Peperomia. And then just over here, to round off our visit, is some more Sansevierias. This is the starfish. And then we've got the regular Trifasciata. And then a larger... let me get in here. A larger whale fin that's quite tall. I don't know, he's 3.5 feet, maybe 4 feet tall. And then we've got the, I want to say Baronensis, but it's not Baronensis. What is this one called? Oh, I hate when I can't remember plant names. Here he is. Bacularis. The Bacularis looks like the regular cylindrica, but it has more upright growth. And you'll see here the base. Got a fernwood in my viewfinder, and flies on my leg. Sorry for the camera work. It's starting to green up now, but it was very purple when it started to come through the soil. I don't have any other new growths. I watered this one yesterday, so it looks moist, because it is. But yeah, it starts off purple, and it comes up green. And then we've got some fernwoods starting to produce some offshoots. As you can see here, they're doing their thing. And then back in the back, we have the big cylindrica. This one here, I don't know, I might not bring it inside. It's about 4 or 5 feet wide. It's ridiculous. There's nowhere to put it without stabbing yourself. The problem with new construction homes is, for the most part, the rooms are smaller, and they're so open concept that you don't really have anywhere for them to go. There's no wall space, if that makes sense. You got furniture, and then there's nowhere to put something that's like this. So space is very much an issue. So we'll see. Maybe I'll put some stakes in and make it go upright. But anyway, so this was a really long video, and I apologize. I hope that you enjoyed some of it. There was a lot to see, a lot to talk about, and yeah, hopefully next time it's not going to be as long. But yeah, glad I did it in 2 parts. Anyway, show me your gardens. I'd love to see what they look like. What's your favorite plant in the garden? Post to your plants and things Facebook page, and or tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see them. Anyway, until next time, you guys, happy growing.